Welcome, everybody, to another episode of The Constitutionalists. We're your hosts, Charlie556.
And I'm Ammo Dog.
What's going on, Ammo Dog? How's the week been treating you?
Man, it's been going okay. I'm doing a lot better than the country as a whole is doing.
Yeah, that's good. That is really good to hear, considering how the country's doing. On one side of the world, the war rages on in Israel. It's been about a week as Israel works to rid the world of the vermin terrorists Hamas. And on the other side of the world, the U.S. sluggishly chugs along with a crime syndicate family operating in the funhouse, and most certainly responsible for aiding Iran and arming Hamas to do that terrorist attack. And of course, the clowns in the funhouse are doing their things. And honestly, the opposition doesn't look much different, with the Republican Party still can't settle on a leader for Speaker of the House. But they can all agree to recess for the weekend, though. God forbid their weekends get taken away. You know, I remember when we had some pending matters that had to get done, like, I don't know, protecting the country, you know, or at least practicing to protect the country in times of emergency. I remember 12-hour days and weekends, and freezing mine to protect everyone's wrapped in a cellophane bubble with a heater from the good people at the age department
to get about 10 minutes of warmth.
Hell yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I thought,
you had to get that frag to the line. There was no recessing for the weekend.
Right? Hell no.
By the way, out there, everybody, we talked about it before. I was in the Air Force, so was Charlie. And those of you who don't know, in the career field, I was a munitions guy, or ammo, and Charlie was a
load toad. I was
a loader.
Yeah. You made him, I loaded him.
Historically, there's some rivalry there, some good-natured jabbing and everything. So, just so everybody knows, when we talk about frag to the line, that's the ammo heading to the jets. So, and that's the point. You're working 12-hour shifts on an exercise. Hey, we both work for the government, both them and us.
Yeah, we're both Fed employees. I mean,
yep. They get paid a lot more for a lot less.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, continue.
Well, you know.
Continue the joke.
That was, I don't know. I mean, amongst the several, the laundry list of complaints that I have, the way the government's been doing its thing right now, that was, I don't know, that was just mind-boggling. And, you know, a lot of these folks, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know, I love them to death, but I don't know. I think when it's time to settle down and get get the people's work done.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I'll tell you, I think they just get a little too comfortable up there. You know, I think they garner some support, which they do. You know, we're big supporters of MGT and
Matt Gaetz.
Or MTG, sorry. Yeah, Matt Gaetz, all them guys. But I don't know, man. They get too comfortable up there, and they think that the entire nation who typically supports them as a whole is absolutely good with whatever they do, you know. And this is one of the things, I mean, you have to ask to what end, you know, what was Gaetz thinking? I understand what he said, that McCarthy didn't follow through with, you know, certain aspects of what they agreed.
Yeah.
And again, I said it last time, but I don't think we'll ever know exactly what went down between those two. But bottom line is they didn't take any recesses to get him out of there.
No,
so
it was immediate.
Yeah, and then this infighting when it came to Scalise, you know.
I think Scalise was just like, you know what, never mind. I mean, that first time that he saw that he wasn't going to get the votes, it seemed like he dropped out and was like, you guys can do this sneaky squirrel shit. I'm just.
And that's fine, but it's just a shame that it has to come to that. Now I'm hearing something about them making deals with Democrats to vote on this.
It seems like they're going to have to, because you can't get the Republican House as a whole to
agree on
to
anything,
agree
right?
on anybody.
That's what I mean. You know, especially with an election coming up, we just look like complete buffoons. But
Right.
anyway, I digress. What else you got?
Well, I mean, meanwhile, while this is going on, another thing that I thought about, this might also be the first time, and definitely in my lifetime, that Americans have been killed abroad,
Yeah.
and there's some that are still missing, and there's really not much the administration is saying about it. I don't hear any, I don't even hear a condolence to the families. No, we don't even know who these Americans are yet. We
Right.
don't know anything.
Now, I've been seeing things where Biden's supposedly meeting with the families, and he did some haul on 60 Minutes where he's like, "We're working damn hard on me not tripping over shit."
Me staying awake. So far, it's
Oh God, yeah, man. But so to me, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to stuff like this, I think we're in uncharted territory. That number keeps raising every day. Last I heard, it was 29 with 15 or
really?
something
See,
missing.
it was 25 last time I looked.
Right
and
now,
that
it's
was
up to
just
29 at least, and I haven't checked prior to the show, so I don't know. But you're nearing 30 American citizens, and whether they're dual citizenship or not, the purpose for dual means there's two of them, and guess what? One of those is American, and
Right.
these people are gone, either dead or kidnapped, and I want to know. I want to know, as a citizen of this country, what in the hell are you doing to bring our people back? What is the plan? I want asses kicked for their deaths, and I want a plan to extract them and get them home,
That's right. I mean,
and to not have them foot the damn bill for it.
exactly. Oh yeah, that's another thing. We'll get you home, but you got to pay your own ticket for it.
Yeah, what in the world is going on there, man?
Do you remember? I don't know. Remember Dad back in the day? He used to say something. He used to remember. I want to say it was probably during the Carter days, but it was the last time there was, I guess, a pretty bad episode of terrorism throughout the world. Islamic extremists.
Oh yeah,
you
you're
know.
talking about the Iran hostage crisis.
Well, I mean that.
Is that what
but-
you're talking about?
No,
Oh.
I mean I'm sure it was in those same days, but he used to say that he would hear out I don't know if it's just in passing that the Islamic extremists would say, "Hey, kill Americans because they don't kill back."
Yeah.
You
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
'cause
Yeah.
you do that to Israel.
That's the rep
they'll-
we had.
Right, right, and it sounds like it's happening again. It sounds like anytime there's somebody in the fun house with the D,
Right.
in parentheses behind their name, it seems like that same circus starts again.
That D gives us all the D.
Yeah, exactly. There's plenty of it. It's over the White House lawn, disguised as a woman.
Oh God, dude! Speaking of the White House lawn, did you see? I don't know if you saw this, but I was watching some video of Biden walking across the lawn. All these reporters are shouting questions to him, and of course he just kind of all you see is the back of his crazily bald head as he's walking to Air Force Two, and once again he disrespects the military by failing to salute that young Marine who's standing.
No, I didn't see that.
He didn't even look at the guy. He just boarded, and just kept on walking. In his defense, he was probably highly concentrating on the steps.
That's what I was gonna say.
But it's still, you're a commander in chief, and these kids, this young man's out there for hours waiting on you to remember where the hell you are, and then head out to the lawn to get on the chopper.
yeah,
And he's holding this salute the entire time. He just walks right past him. It pisses me off. I can't stand that.
it's just another. I mean, add it to the list of how many different basically FUs to the military personnel. I mean,
Absolutely. Yeah.
No viable explanation for the broken-hearted family members that want to know how their service members died in the
Right.
debacle in Afghanistan. Nothing. I mean, there's absolutely no accountability whatsoever anymore.
No, and used to be that if you you talk about it as if you give a damn, but
Yeah.
he doesn't even do that.
Oh, no.
So, speaking of Biden, right? So we all know that there's over 29,000 emails.
Oh
right?
yeah, what's the latest on that? There was
Well, 29,000 emails that were uncovered through a FOIA, right? Freedom of Information Act.
right.
And so they uncovered these 29,000 emails.
This is months and months after Biden went on record saying that, I've no.
The first time he went on record saying that was at the debates with Trump in 2016.
Right. Yeah, I don't know anything
So
about
this
my
is
son's
years.
business dealings.
Yeah, I have never had. So then they uncovered 29,000 emails, to which like 15,000 of them are to, I believe, his brother. And then
Right.
the other 10,000 and some change are between him and Hunter, where he's absolutely discussing the businesses and earnings and whatnot with the two of them. And they have separate businesses going on, and they're all overseas, or they're both overseas,
Right.
So once again, and now look, if you guys follow us on X, check us out. We're Constitutionalist, the Constitutionalist on X. I posted a little thing on there about this, and the thing is that of course he's saying never discussed it, but one of the things that, if anything, stands out would just, besides the blatant hypocrisy, it's and I believe this was during the 2016 debates with President Trump. He said there will be an absolute wall between personal and private business interest and the government.
Right.
So it's the only wall he's ever threatened to put up, and obviously that one fell through too. So I don't know, man. It's just a massive POS, and we kind of talked about it last time. Now they just lie to your face, and they don't care whether you realize it or not. At least they used to at least try to hide it, but now, like I said before, the quiet parts are said out loud, and it's disgusting, is what it is, man.
And I think the test run, among many, was the COVID thing. I think once they realized that they could make you wear a mask, if they would have told us that the COVID virus existed, a threshold of, I don't know, let's say between 1 foot above the ground and anywhere from 3 to 5 feet, above the ground. So that 2 feet, you had like a 2.5 feet safety zone. Everybody would be crawling around looking at each other's asses all day.
That's right.
They would have done whatever the hell
like there was a
Daddy
fire,
Biden said.
like it was a smoke-filled room.
Yeah, exactly. Like we were trained in those little trailers when they came to elementary school on how to escape your bedroom fire.
Yeah.
I think that was part of the test run. Okay, so we can, they're not going to question us on this. They're not going to question us on that. They're damn sure not going to question us on a vaccine. And in fact, my patience is wearing thin.
Oh God!
Yeah, remember that? Remember that, America? Remember when he said his patience is wearing thin? You better get that jab.
And he was talking to you and me, each and every one of you that question the validity of that vaccine, and especially if you're a federal worker or you're military, you were effed. You know.
You weren't active duty when that
I was
came
retired.
Out. You were retired, still working on base.
Yep, I was a federal employee.
So as a federal, just everyday Joe, what was it like for you as it was coming out?
Well, it got at first, I didn't really think anything of it because we weren't hearing anything about vaccines yet. We were all told to mask up and do and already then it was just kind of weird. They're putting the little footprint stickers on the ground, and then your social distancing. And I'll be honest with you, at that time, everything was so new. I thought, well, during flu season, you wash your hands a lot, or you should. So I didn't have any issue with that. But I think the thing that began to get me is when they were enacting these mask rules for just the employees that worked there. And it was like all of the customers that came in, and I, just so everybody's clear, I worked on the commissary on base. Commissary, for anybody who doesn't know, is like a big grocery store, right? And it's obviously for military and retirees, right? So, and we get a lot of people. There's a whole lot of people on base, and they're in and out of there. And So yeah, these at first everybody was supposed to wear a mask, whether you're a customer or an employee. And then when they started to kind of, oh God, you get these vaccines out, and now when they're trying to relax these mask laws a little bit, it was just the customers who didn't have to wear a mask, but all the employees still did. And I thought, that was my first inkling of what is actually going on here, because the sense and sensibility was out the window. None of it made any sense. You could go into a restaurant and you had to wear your mask. Now, you weren't allowed in unless you had a mask.
Right.
But the second you sat down, you could take it off.
Yeah.
What was it, an AI virus? It knew.
It patiently.
Oh my God, he's sitting down. I can't get him.
Yeah.
It was just so stupid, so absolutely stupid. But yeah, getting back to On Base, it began to evolve into just madness, and it wasn't just On Base. I know it was all around the world.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, all around the country anyway.
Sure.
Yeah, then the vaccine mandate started to be talked about, and then they were threatening anybody who was military or a federal employee. They were threatening with getting it, or you will get it, or you're not going to have a job. And that's where I kind of drew the line of, okay, this is control. You're threatening somebody's livelihood. Now, me personally, I didn't give two shits about that because I'm retired, military. I had an income. This job was just something to do.
This is pew pew money.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, when they started throwing those threats around, I just kind of giggled. And you got and God love them, that you got people that have been working there for 20 plus years, and they were frightened, and I don't blame them.
Oh yeah.
That's the only job they've ever done. And federal employees, a good paying job. I don't give a damn what it is. Nobody pays like Uncle Sam pays, right? Yeah. But sometimes nobody is dumb as hell as Uncle Sam is too, And this was one of those cases. So it just kind of got to the point to where I'm like, then you had to write in a letter of objections to it, and they had to be either religious or whatever the hell. And I'm like, I'm not writing crap. I started to. They had a website, and then you got to click. Is it a religious thing? And I'm like, no. It's just because is there an option on there to where I'm not stupid? Can I? Is there a box like the employee is not a dumbass? I'll check that one.
Right.
And since there was no box like that, I just pretty much told them they were all dumbasses, and I quit.
Yeah.
And I went home, and I haven't worked since.
And that's just again another example of that was the big test to see how many they could. And again, it's one of those things, like you just said, not everybody is retired and okay, and this was just something to do plus a little extra
my heart
income.
went out to those folks.
Yeah. I mean, it was a horrible thing, but I think that was a test run to say, okay, well, if we can get away with all this crap, I'm pretty sure we can get away with, passing on this question. Next one, please.
Right. Yeah. And that is the reason they're now saying the quiet parts out loud, because they've successfully done the social experiment on you.
Well, plus it's what Peter Ducey is about the only one who holds him to the fire.
Yes. And then they just ignore him.
Yeah.
They'll stare at him, or Raggedy Ann up there will smile at him.
Yeah.
And then just look, smile, and just continue on with the next person. I don't know how he can contain himself in there. Let's talk a minute about the 6th bill that Biden sent over there for Iran, who we all know is behind all this Hamas shit. I don't care what freaking Kirby or any of them dudes say. Anybody that has a brain cell that's sparking, you're able to discern through a little bit of history, these bastards are absolutely behind this attack on Israel. You know?
And the fascination that started with Obama, whatever the fascination is of the friendship between Obama, Biden, and Iran, because I remember even when the nuke deal was going on, that big, ridiculous allowance they gave them during the Obama years.
Yeah.
And then of course, Trump kind of derailed all that nonsense and had them at their knees, and also took Soleimani's ass out in the process. And then we're right back to it again, with this giant ransom. Mm-hmm. Plus, what do we get back? We didn't get back any military or operators or anything. We got back 5 or 6 civilians in exchange for 5 or 6 terrorists.
Terrorists,
right?
yeah. That
So
without a doubt. And look, I don't need a news report. I don't need to wait. I have a brain. I bet you anything that those guys that they release are probably in uniform with our M4s, and
right back at it.
Yeah, and they're the ones that were doing all that killing. On
help planning it something.
Oh God, yeah. Now they even I saw a report today that said that Soleimani guy that he is the one who planned this attack that they did.
It's been that long in the making.
Yes.
Golly.
That now again the validity of the report. It was I think it was might have been on Fox, but if that is the case, all of you that were bitching that Trump did such a thing, you know what I mean? Once again, without even knowing it, he was right in killing that son of a bitch, because that's who they're now saying did the planning for that invasion and murder rampage that's going on as we speak in Israel. But this $6 billion though,
which is being held in Qatar right
it's
now.
being held in Qatar, right?
Our buddies over there.
Now, originally, McConnell and Senator Cotton had put forth a bill that would freeze that $6 billion that was held for Iran, right?
Mitch came out of petrified petrification. Oh, look at this house. Thanks, Mitch. Yeah. Appreciate it. So what happened?
Oh God, yeah. So they put forth a bill, and then I didn't hear any more about it because a day or so later, the administration agreed that, hey, we're going to freeze that money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but not before a bill was threatened to be introduced, right? So then, to me, another shining example of how no one gives a damn on the world stage about this administration. Qatar turned around and said, no, you offered this $6 billion for Iran. We're keeping it for them, and it's going to be used exactly as you originally said. So they're telling us, America, no, we'll tell you what we're going to do with that money.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Qatar, the big neutral. Come on, man.
Well, that's the whole point. They're at the same time of supposedly being neutral. There's all those Hamas guys being welcomed with big hugs and the 17 kisses on each cheek that they do in all the countries.
Oh yeah,
but here.
Yeah, here they're just allowed to come through the border.
Oh, well, yeah, but you get what I'm saying?
I do get what you're saying.
Yeah. The Qataris are not that damn neutral, as it turns out. And at
not.
the end of the day,
there isn't any of them that are neutral.
Hell no.
There are some that you pay a lot of money to for their cooperation.
It's business.
But that cooperate. Look at the Saudis. They had this for the Abraham Accords. The commerce that was set up with Israel,
yep,
right, and the agreement, all that. Soon as Israel was engaged in this war that they declared on Hamas, the Saudis moved to exchange commerce with Iran now.
Right.
You know, so they dropped the Israel. They went straight to Iran. There is no loyalty with these people. There is none. You know, you can sign all the you can shake all the hands you want. At the end of the day, you're the great Satan.
You're the infidel,
and that's it.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah, that's it.
What they should be doing is trying to work out a deal with Israel to have bases over there.
Yeah.
Because at least when we get a lame duck in office, at least the Israelis can protect our asses when we're deployed in Israel. Because,
right.
Because Lord knows the Biden administration isn't going to take care of business if our fellow Americans get slaughtered.
No, absolutely.
It's a damn shame. But anyway, so the bill is introduced and then it's taken away. So I don't know. I mean, at this point, that $6 billion is going to go to whatever it wants, and I don't really see any investigations anytime soon into this. I mean, I don't even know who would. Justice Department is busy going after concerned moms and dads. And,
yeah, absolutely. How about AOC? We saw her giving this big interview on.
Well, yeah, so AOC is part of the squad,
right?
And every single member of the squad has grave concern over Palestine, poor Palestine.
Right.
You know,
And they're trying to hold Israel's feet to the fire for simply responding to the violence that was enacted on
genocide.
them.
We got to make sure we prevent the genocide and whatnot. You know, I don't think not a single one of them served in the military, has family probably in the military.
Did you happen to hear AOC's interview?
I did happen to hear a little something about it.
All right. Well, oddly enough, I think we might have her on the line here.
Did she call it? Did we get her?
We did.
No way.
So we're going to give her a chance to explain.
Patch her on through.
Okay. Yep, she's on. She's live. Listen, AOC, why is it that you're so against Israel defending themselves?
What?
Okay. Is there? Look, do you care that these children were harmed and killed over there in Israel? Do you care that Hamas did that?
I think there's a connection issue going on here.
Maybe you have better luck asking her a question, Charlie.
Ms. Cortez, if you would just go over, I don't know, just some of the, just highlight basically what you're trying to explain to the American people, your concerns on the Israel being somehow the genocidal ones in this matter, please. I'm not sure.
Obviously, we're not getting anywhere. So, look, I'm going to give you one more. Miss Cortez, if you could just. All right, I think we're going to have to let her go. Hopefully, we can reconnect with you. And all right, well, that was interesting.
It was strange.
Yeah, a little out there.
I think she had the same type of connection issues when she was talking on I don't know, Skype or something like that. She might have had the same connection issues because I was hearing some of the same
background noise.
Yeah, something. Yeah, it's weird.
Maybe she needs a better sound man.
It could be,
or less refried beans. I don't know.
We'll try it later.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Okay, so look, what about the Border Patrol, the BPA issuing a safety alert for all of the BPA agents, telling them to be cautious because there's threats out there, and they're not saying from who. Right. They're very careful not to say from who. But they're saying that there have been threats against the lives of Border Patrol agents, right? And their families. So whoever this mystery group is, which I don't know, I might have a good idea, and I don't think they're cartel. But, I mean, they might be, but
I think it could go either way. I mean, it sounds cartel-like. I mean, going
it
after
does.
families and stuff.
But at the same
that.
time, there's been such an influx of, they know for a fact that these, Hamas-connected folks have been coming in through the border and have been for a while. So there's a concern that maybe there's some terror cells that are out there.
Oh, yeah. Imagine that.
Yeah. Basically, the first thing that happened a couple of days ago, you had the BPA sending out this email alert for the safety of all agents because they have some group out there that's trying to pay people for info on the address to get the addresses of Border Patrol agents and or the address of their mothers, which was odd, just... I mean, not like their wife, or whatever.
Right.
So and they said they will pay top dollar for anyone who can give them that information, and that if it proved to be true, they would Facebook Live their torture and murder. Live stream their torture and murder.
Now that sounds like a $6 billion deal.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It really does. So not long after that, you have FBI Director Wray warning this. I think this is either today or yesterday.
Very recent, yeah.
Yeah, that Director Wray warns of possible attacks by Hamas terror cells here within the U.S.
Right.
So you're hearing all of this stuff, and what you're not hearing by the same administration that's throwing out these warnings, you're not hearing possible reasons why they might be in this country to begin with. And that is nothing more than zero border control. However many in the number that they tell you they stopped, you can probably bet that 10 times more made it in,
definitely.
So if Hamas does some attacking in this country, then once again, just like the very invasion for the reason of $6 billion to Iran,
right?
It rests on the shoulders of the president.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so
There's absolutely no way that isn't the case. Where
Right.
most of them are coming in undetected. I mean, it's been several years ago, but I went on a hiking trip down in South Texas, Southwest Texas, to Big Bend National Park.
yeah, I remember that.
That's one. I mean, a massive park, but it's also one section of the border versus the hundreds and hundreds of miles.
Right.
But yeah, just that national park alone. This is not counting all of the vast ranches out there of private land. But
Right.
I hiked a good portion and saw a good portion of that area of just open shoot. I mean, even the little towns across the river, across the
Yeah.
Rio Grande.
Did you
The
witness
people
any?
there. I did. Well, okay. Well, let me take this back.
I'm
I
sorry.
didn't witness any like running across the, to come over and live here. But the people in like, well, one of them was Santa Elena Canyon, and so there was a little town of Santa Elena, and so nice people, I'm sure, would come over by boat and bring their little trinkets that they made. Beautiful little works of art made out of like copper wire. They'd make like little scorpions and other
Yeah,
little like
yeah.
desert creatures and stuff like that. And they would sneak over and leave those on like some big rock by a well-traveled hiking path, and then like a little coffee can for you to pay a little something. They would say like whatever
Right.
the score, this little trinkets would $5 please or whatever.
Right.
And then they'd sneak, then they'd check it at the end of the day, I guess, bring their coffee can back over and sneak back over. And that was the end of that. Like,
Right.
I didn't see any actual, like, I'm here to stay stuff, but
Swimming
it's-
across the
right,
yeah,
right.
didn't see
But
that.
it's crazy. So that's just one example of all that miles where, yeah, it's absolutely easy to do.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got the provisions and the know-how and the willing coyotes.
And no wall stopping you.
Right.
Yeah,
man,
exactly.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's definitely. I don't know. Like I said, the only thing I can say, kids, is stay strapped.
Yep.
I mean, again, the one thing that would, God forbid, separate a situation like what happened in Israel is the fact that we have a Second Amendment. We can arm ourselves, and
Absolutely.
it would be, like we talked about last week, a completely different scenario
Right.
of someone or some group or some faction coming over here trying to do the same thing and busting down these doors around here, anyways. Though.
Well, we all
It's not
know
gonna end,
the Japanese during World War II planning an invasion on mainland USA,
right.
and Hirohito was all about it. And one of his generals had said, "Sir, this is not a wise idea." And when he asked why, he told him, "Because there will be a gun behind every blade of grass." So, look, our Second Amendment not only protects us without a doubt here, but it's also a great deterrent for other people, because they know that it's not just military that have weapons here.
Right.
You
right.
know, it's your average citizen.
Yeah.
And maybe the most dangerous thing is you don't know who.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
I think in a situation like that, who knows? The downtown streets of, I don't know, anywhere, city USA, you
Right.
might have a country boy pulling out his Glock right next to the gangbanger, and they're both fighting for their lives against Hamas or something.
Yep. Without a doubt.
But speaking of that beautiful document, the Constitution,
Mm-hmm.
the open borders situation in itself and this administration's failure to secure them, and not even just failure to, I mean, I can see, if you're working hard at it, but I don't know, act of God happens, or, just the fact of, I'd rather pick my favorite choice of ice cream than handle this idea that Biden would have. That in itself is that's an impeachable offense. I mean,
Yeah.
Number one, federal government protects the country, protects its sovereignty.
If a
failing to
Republican
do
was
that.
in there, it would be an impeachable offense.
Well, yeah. I mean, a phone call is an impeachable
Oh, yeah.
offense if you're a Republican.
Look, and that I guess that bears mentioning too, or reminding. It's mentioned every day, but just reminding that these people, man, they get away with so much in there, and yeah, we talked about it a little bit last time. There's outrage, but to me, it's just feigned outrage. And all these rhinos, they do the exact same thing. Oh God, I can't believe, he's not doing this, or he is doing this. He's lax on the border. I can't believe, what do you mean you got this number of illegals coming through the country, through the border?
Mm-hmm.
and they're all outraged and angry and then it just goes away.
Yeah.
And no one is held accountable for a damn thing in this administration. They're not.
Well, no, I mean, look at the highest office in the land. They are, mortal enemies when it comes time to election season.
Right.
But then, you got all these past presidents afterwards, Bush, Obama, Clinton, they're all out golfing together and having a grand old time.
Like I said, it reminds me of wrestling, when I was a kid, I had all these, heroes and villains, and then find out later that they're all drinking at the same bar laughing.
It was all just a big show.
Exactly. And that's exactly how this is.
That's exactly how it is.
I don't know, man. So obviously what dominates the headlines right now is Israel. We talked a little bit earlier about that, those 29,000 emails from Biden, though.
Right.
And I just, you can make the connection if you want to. I'm not trying to sway anybody one way or the other. But first it was the 29,000 emails. That was big news. And then like a day or so later, Hamas invades Israel.
Oh, yeah.
So you can draw your own conclusions of that. But I think we talked about, even on the, our first episode ever, we talked about just being vigilant, when you see something major going on in the country, make sure it's okay to be outraged and shocked at whether it's a mass shooting or some crazy, overseas attack or whatever. But for just a second, broaden the picture a little bit. Look and see what else is going on right under your nose, because typically 9 times out of 10, when there's a big thing happening, then there's some other thing going on that they would rather you not look at. So they're not going to not report on it, but what they are going to do is make a bigger noise over here, so your attention is diverted.
It wasn't too long ago. It was UFOs and aliens. That was the government's go-to to.
And then no one gives a damn about that, unbelievably, after all this time.
Right.
I think they thought it was going to be a bigger story than what it was, and I think so. Well, we're not going to talk about UFOs at the moment, but I'm just saying, if we are for one moment, I think that people all the way back from Roswell, they've just known. No one believed what the government was. There's no such thing,
So,
Project Blue Book, we've discounted all that. Yeah, they know. And that way, and when it comes to, all right, there really is, they're like, well, no shit, so tell us something we don't know,
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about also the 29,000 email things and the covering that up quickly. Meanwhile, there's former President Trump talking about Hamas and
they're all mad at him.
Mad at him again, and it's like this.
I'm mad at you again, me.
It's like this eerie replay of the whole Charlottesville incident that was taken out of context.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe that's what happened with.
This is no different, dude. What did he say? You remember this time? Not about Charlottesville, but to your point.
Yeah, he said these people are smart. They know what they're doing.
And he was talking about, I think I think he was talking about Hezbollah, because Hezbollah was threatening from the north.
Excuse me. Right.
To attack Israel, and So two things. Trump was being a little bit critical of Netanyahu,
Prime Minister of Israel.
Right. So, but the fact of the matter is, again, we said it. You may not like the way he speaks, but what he does speak about is true. So what he was saying is that they're not stupid. These terrorists, they're not dumb, and also that basically Israel was caught with their pants down. These are true statements. Even before Trump said that, we said that same thing last week.
I think it was from what I understand. Mm-hmm. Trump is saying that Hezbollah's sneaky strategies was smart. He said it was basically smart enough to evade Israeli intelligence, which is true.
It is true.
Smart enough to evade ours too, apparently.
Right. Or maybe.
Yeah. And
maybe we just look the other way, but yeah.
Or even their ability to make it across the U.S. border.
Mm-hmm.
So and again, it's one of those things. It's like I think we even touched on that last week as well.
Right.
It's not to give credit or a pat on the back, like of praise. It's
Right.
it's saying that basically, hell, serial killers are
Well,
smart.
Yeah. Well, we said that last week.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's. I was just going to say before any news.
Stupid criminals go straight to jail.
Yeah.
Straight to jail. They
Right.
get one chance,
Right.
and they f that up, and yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
The smart ones stay on the streets,
Yeah,
you know,
I
and,
mean,
and
if
continue
that's-
their crime sprees or whatever.
right. So if that's praising terrorists, then
Everybody knows he wasn't praising anyone. He
Of
was
course
just
not.
he was
It's-
making
it's-
a point, you
it's
know.
fake news.
It's fake
That's
news,
all
you
it
know.
is.
Absolutely, dude. So
But-
I don't know. What do you know? It's just one more thing. And who's screaming about this the most? Yeah, you got some Democrats saying it, but mostly the Republicans that are running for president. They're the ones piping up the most about. Oh God, you know, you shouldn't. You know.
Well, I mean, I guarantee you that excerpt of Trump saying that got way more time on air than the 29,000 emails.
Oh yeah,
you know.
exactly,
So-
exactly. So just something in the news. You know, we're sending 2 aircraft carriers over there to supposedly for Israel support, right? But I'm sitting there thinking that's quite a bit. The question was asked during the press brief, like, "Hey, do we plan on putting American boots on the ground?" You know, what's his name? Kirby. He said, "No. Not only do we not plan to, but Israel doesn't want us to. You know, they welcome our support, I guess, by weapons and whatnot. But if we're bringing 2 aircraft carriers over there, that's 2 strike groups. You know,
Right. Oh,
they've
yeah.
got helicopters, they've got aircraft, fighter jets on board. What, like 5,000 sailors can be on there,
Right.
and you're sending 2 of those, right? Along with diverting a bunch of aircraft squadrons, Air Force squadrons over there as well to be closer. Unless you plan on jumping off the boat and handing them to the Israelis, then to me, you do plan on doing some stuff,
Well,
you know?
according to what I heard too, it was also as a it was a deterrent to Iran
Okay,
in
yeah.
getting involved as well. Which again, it's kind of one of those things when you display weakness
Right.
in foreign policy. I don't think it's much of any deterrent.
Well, I think you're right. It is not, and yeah, they more than likely they did it in anticipation of regional fighting for it to grow in not just between Israel
yeah.
and Hamas, but grow on into Lebanon.
Well,
Excuse me.
here's the thing too. Even with even if Iran did get involved, I mean, let's face it, their style of fighting is proxy war, and I know it's taboo to say it, but those some bitches are smart. So by the time by the time Biden figures exactly by
Yeah.
the time he figures it out.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be way past his
Way
bedtime.
too, yeah,
anyway, so
absolutely.
I.
Well, and now, and this was today, Iran was making threats against Israel at the same time that the administration continues to say that they have no proof that Iran was involved at all. Iran, at that exact moment, is making threats to Israel if they continue with the offense on Gaza.
Mhm.
You know,
Oh yeah.
so, and of course, Hezbollah has the backing also of Iran, along with Hamas. So it's possibly, and they said, what Iran said today was that they would get involved personally.
Oh yeah.
Their elite guard would be all over that. So that is going to test a lot of things with this administration.
Yeah.
So you're saying no boots on the ground, but number one, we've got, 29 of our American souls over there being killed, and a great number, 15. I don't know the exact number, but I think it was 14 or 15
Right.
that were unaccounted for, and you have to assume that they are hostages. So again, I said it before. What's the plan? Well, you might be forced into a plan of boots on the ground over there.
Right.
If it's a hostage rescue situation, maybe it's not advertised. Those boots on the ground. We've done that a ton of times.
Absolutely.
In and out. But on a world stage like this, what are you going to do when Iran puts their boots on the ground in Gaza and in Israel, the way Hamas and Hezbollah is threatening to do?
That's going to be the big question because
Right.
his former boss during the Syrian conflict when I'm putting a line in the sand and you better not cross it, Syria. And guess what? Syria crossed it and we didn't do a damn thing.
Nope. Drew another line.
So yeah, exactly.
Cross this line, you die.
Right.
Cross this line, you die.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's I guess it, of course it does remain to be seen.
Right.
Meanwhile, while all of this is going on, give me your best guess when the world's greatest panhandler, President Zelensky, is going to come back and say, look, I know you guys are busy with this whole Israel thing, but the cash flow is getting kind of tough over here in my other fairy tale war.
Well, he probably doesn't. He probably doesn't have to, because I heard Lloyd Austin, the defense secretary, saying that was one of the things that the press was asking him. They were like, well, if you're going to be funding, and giving financial and weapon support to Israel, how are you going to do that and still continue on doing the same thing for Ukraine? And he didn't miss a beat. He said, well, we can do two things. We can walk and chew gum, meaning we can do both.
Right.
So there's where more of your tax money is going to go to. Meanwhile,
most of it's going to go to Ukraine.
Well, you got $6 billion of it going to Iran.
Okay.
And then you're going to have, however much billions that Ukraine already has. And then you got, I'm sure, already racking up in the billions going to Israel.
There's only two last time I checked. There's $2 billion is all they could amount for our.
That was going to Israel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the war is only a week old.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll go up. But so I don't know, man. I tell you one thing though, with those hostages, one of the reporters at the White House press briefing had asked Kirby, "What is the plan? Are we gonna rescue these people? Are we gonna put our special ops in there to go get them?" And man, he looked at that reporter and he said, "Well, I'll tell you, there's other hostages besides Americans being held." And I was just like, "What the hell? What is that?" And then he left. All right, that's all I got time for. And everybody, I'm like, what? Again, I don't know. And then to top it all off, and this has nothing to do with hostage or anything, but I could not help but laugh because, you have Jean-Pierre, up there, Raggedy Ann.
Yeah.
She didn't stay up there long at all because she didn't want to deal with any of the questions that were going to come up from Kirby's time up there.
Right.
And she was shutting them down left and right, but she could not help herself before she hauled ass too. And before she did, saying that how great Bidenomics is doing for the country right now. She says inflation is falling thanks to Bidenomics. People are keeping more of their money. Jobs numbers are going through the roof. Interests are leveling out. Notice how they never say they're going down.
Right,
they're leveling
right.
out.
Notice how there's never any visual aids to go along with
yeah, it's just her beautiful face telling you.
Yeah.
So one of the report, I wish I could remember who the guy was because he was kind of pulling a Peter Ducey, holding her feet to the fire, and he just looked at her and he's like, excuse me, and she called on him and he's like, how can you possibly say that? Because he threw out just a couple of things, and I'm sure he would have thrown out more, but she cut him off. And what he said was, housing alone is up 4.7%. Car insurance for your typical family is up 19%,
Mm-hmm.
And what she did, and that's when she cut him off, and she deflected it to Republicans, and of course, and the deflection that she did had absolutely nothing to do with anything. She just said, well, don't forget Republicans are slashing Medicare, and they're trying to raise or get these tax cuts to the wealthy. And then she pretty much, as she was saying all this dumbass shit, she was packing up her notebook. That's all, and then took off, and everybody's just looking at one another like, what the hell? And that was it. So
yeah, well, you eat turds for breakfast. I mean, that's the equivalent of what that was.
No. So the only other ridiculous thing, man, and I know, look, we're coming up on the hour here, So
yeah.
It's just the U.S. telling Israeli Americans that they got to sign this promissory note to reimburse the government for the cost of evacuating.
Well, I mean, when you're sending money out like that, I guess you gotta get your money.
Well, I guess, but like I think you brought this point up, man. What about so there's no debt forgiveness for that? Like the student debt, was forgiven.
Yeah.
But these guys got to pay to save their lives. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and
yeah.
and who was the country that was going to get theirs, and some of them already come out of there? Was it, what'd you say, Mexico or something? I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't,
yeah.
yeah, Mexico. They didn't have their they went and got them, and they've evacuated a lot of their citizens out of there, right?
Absolutely.
But Americans, oh, you got to pay. You know, you got to pay. You got to pay your fair share.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, man, I don't know. Look, here's what I'll say. We bring up a lot of things that are, and they should bother the hell out of you. That's the purpose of this, is to highlight things that, in our eyes, we're just a couple of veterans living on a mountain.
We're just hillbillies with too many guns.
I'll never tell. But yeah, man, I said it before, and I don't know. I'm going to say it every single time. Know your Constitution and know your rights, and hold your elected officials accountable. All right. To me, this is as an American veteran. This is still the greatest country that God has ever created. It's great for its laws. It's great for its citizens. It's great for its just natural beauty from coast to coast, all directions. I love this country, and I know each and every one of you do too. Don't let those that have ill intent in mind screw it up. Rome was also a great nation, okay, and it eventually fell. And maybe in time, all great nations. I mean, history proves that they have all fallen. But man, there's no need to usher it in on purpose. If that's the way God intends it, then so be it. But man, I don't know. We talked about an email last time. If you guys are listening, if you like the show, if you hate the show, if you've got improvements, suggestions, we'd love to hear it. The email that we have is the Constitutionalist, all together, right? No caps or nothing. theconstitutionalist@gmail.com. So that is our email. We upload to YouTube.
Is that plural or single?
Single. It's
Single.
The Constitutionalist. Yeah.
Okay.
So at gmail.com. We're looking for feedback is all. If you like it, please share it. Please share it with other people.
If you hate it, please share it. Listen to these two assholes.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't be the first time people have shared that info.
Yeah.
But and we have a good time doing what we're doing. And that's just, having a conversation and letting you guys listen into it. And eventually, of course, we'd like to get something where we can get some folks, some live interaction with people, or at least recorded live, and then we play it back that way. But
have some special guests on.
Yeah,
maybe not AOC next time, because she's got to get that microphone.
Her interview just stinks. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kind of crappy. But anywho, look, we'll get out of here. But part of what we want to do also, and we'll see. We plan on doing an episode a week, right? But maybe the last Wednesday of each month, maybe we'll do something different, like a little bit of an open topic.
Yeah.
I don't know if we mentioned that last time.
Also, if anything crazy happens where we just feel like we got to hit the airways, then
we might do another episode before the week's up.
Or maybe just 30-minute, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Cases,
Anyway, and who knows? Maybe it'll be about paranormal stuff. Maybe it'll be about cryptids. Maybe it'll be some
shadow people.
Yeah, some tinfoil hat. We saw shadow people one time.
We did, yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about it.
Or
maybe we won't.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Tinfoil, I can go all night with that.
Well, that's what I'm screaming.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. Or maybe you guys can throw out a topic if you want us to.
Yeah, that's what that
yap
email's
about
for.
It. Exactly.
Like, talk about this. What do you guys know about that?
And also YouTube. You can obviously do comments on the spot there, and we'll see them.
We're on YouTube as well, right?
Yeah, we're on YouTube. We're on X. So look us up on X. You can write a comment there. We're on YouTube. We're on everywhere you get your podcasts. That's where we're at. So
Good deal.
Anyway, Charlie, you got anything?
I'll just, like I always say.
Thank you. No, I'm kidding. Just joking.
Stay frosty, kids. We this whole, not to harp on the whole Israeli-Hamas thing again, but they did have that call for a national day of jihad this past Friday. Thank God it wasn't as bad as it could have been. But I don't give a damn if you're liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican. If you don't have a weapon, go out and get a weapon. It's your damn constitutional
and learn how to
right.
use it.
Learn how to use it. Hey, guess what? Tactical tip of the month. Lay that sucker down and jog around your house a couple times, or wherever you're at. If you're at I don't care if you're at the gun range, let them look at you like you're nuts. Jog around a little bit, get that heart rate up, and then try to fire a few rounds. Let that demonstrate to you how it actually feels in a real situation
Where
when your
adrenaline's
adrenaline's
flowing,
going, your heartbeat's going a million miles an hour. You can be one of the best shots in the world, and if you don't practice that with that adrenaline running, you'd be surprised. The real world situations when cops get involved with a shooting, why the assailant sometimes gets hit in the leg or the arm or even a complete miss. It is a completely different world out there. So anyways, yes, protect yourselves. Just because Friday was thank God, a bust for the most part around here doesn't mean it won't happen again. Protect yourselves. Look out for yourselves and one another. God bless the troops, men and women in uniform.
Remember everyone deployed. Yep. Remember everyone deployed. Friday is Red Day, so get you a red shirt and support your troops. All right.
Cool.
They do a lot for us. So anyway, God bless you all out there. We're going to take off from here and enjoy our mountain weather and getting cool.
Getting that tree stand.
Yeah, there you go.
Hell
Leaves
yeah.
are changing. Deer's going crazy. Anyway, God bless you all. We'll see you next week, if not before. And we'll talk to you soon.
See y'all.